This is a movement. We'll see results. We'll see results. We'll see justice. We'll see justice. There won't be no peace. There won't be no peace.
Well, I think the past 8 days have been very invigorating. I think that the protests are very much needed and necessary for what we're dealing with right now. It's a very hostile environment right now across the country, and here organizing in the city of Detroit with these peaceful protests, I think on a united front is sending a huge signal, not only locally here in the city of Detroit, but nationally here in the United States, all the way up to Washington, D.C. And so I think it's needed. I think the people have joined together, have banded together in unity, and I think that these 8 days are not enough. I think that we need to continue and to continue in our numbers and to continue to fight against racism, stand up against oppression, and to continue the good fight.
And how they feel about the trajectory of it, where it's going.
Yeah. So when we think about the trajectory of movements and stuff like that, we have to think about like past movements, right? Yeah. So we look at the civil rights movement, we look at how they attack people's money first, and we attack the idea of capitalism first. So while we are out here in these streets, we're using police resources to see us, to like escort us, to be out here to watch us fly helicopters over, right? That takes money, time, that takes a whole bunch of issues, right? That's another way of us actually, by peacefully protesting, defunding the police. We messing up their whole system, their unions, everything. Also, when we talk about defunding the police, we have to see what that looks like, right? So we can tear down this system at the same time while building another system in its place to protect peoples. And when we say defund police, we mean defunding unions that protect these same cops who murder us every day. So with that being said, we have to be clear about our passion and clear about our work, because we get met with so many other issues, right, as black people's out here standing on these streets. So we get met with the idea of saying like, oh, if you riot then you lose your credibility, right? Or there's those other people's jobs. Those are insured properties that don't do much for black communities, right? Don't do much for black neighborhoods. They're making more money off of being in these spaces than we are, right? So if they are really allies and these businesses are everything that we really need, they need to be investing in black school districts. They need to be investing in decolonizing minds. And specifically what makes that the issue for me is when we look at our textbooks, we had lawsuits against textbooks companies because they were trying to change the names of slaves like into indentured servants. In the year of our Lord 2017, we had a book about a slave child making George Washington a birthday cake. A birthday cake. Like, so when we talk about the idiocracies of all these things, we have to understand that this whole capitalistic system that uses bodies, that use people as a means to an end, and never as a true source and value them, we have to demolish every last part of it. Capitalism itself is indicative of using people as means, using us as money, using us as power sources, but not giving back to us. And that's one thing that the millennial generation is also saying too. We don't care about your jobs. You're not giving me healthcare, I'm gone. You're not giving me a 401k, I'm gone. You're not giving me a pension, I'm gone. Because guess what? There will be some other structure that will take care of me, and even if I gotta tear this bitch down and build it up myself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Well, overall, this protest is because black people are being killed for no reason, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't even go as far as the conviction. We shouldn't be getting killed in the first place. But if he does not get convicted, it will probably be more unrest throughout the nation and throughout the world, because we're just tired of seeing the injustice, and we're just tired of being treated the way we've been treated for over 400 years. You know, this has been from slavery to lynching to segregation to now. You know what I'm saying? So now we're moving, but yeah, this whole protest is peaceful. Protest is for the extermination of the killing of black people. We want that to stop. We want that to stop.
So this is my first day out. I've been keeping, I've been aware of everything that's going on, but it's weighed on me a lot personally, so I haven't gone out yet. But I'm here with my community today. I guess, yeah, as far as what I hope to happen, I just want want accountability. I want accountability first and foremost, individual for those cops and for police. I'm just feeling angry, feeling glad that people are here, and feeling like it's not enough still.
Well, as a teacher in Detroit for almost 10 years, I hate that it's taken another tragedy to wake everybody up. And we will not let George Floyd die in vain. So it is inspiring to see not just the citizens of Detroit, but the people of our country rise up, the people of the world rise up, and everybody who is just bonded together to tear down the system that has been put in place. I march for my students, I march for my black family, my black friends, and I will use whatever powers, the rights that I have to help bring justice to those who have been wronged, to those who have been murdered. And I feel like our trajectory, we are moving in such a strong way right now. Things are happening for the better. Things are being changed because we are marching. Our protests are coming together is not in vain. It is bringing about change, and we will not stop until we get the change that is needed and deserved. It's been far too long. Far too long.
March today, march tomorrow.
March today, march tomorrow. Amen.
How do you feel about the past 8 days, trajectory, the ups and downs of the march so far, and everything that's going on?
You can see right from the beginning and what we're in now, once the curfews were lowered, once the military style tactics were removed, you get these peaceful marches.
Right.
This is what it was from the beginning. It was never meant to be military. It was never meant to be. The riot stuff is terrible. It really was. Some things shouldn't have happened there, and innocent people got hurt too, which is terrible. But you can't stop this, man. This is I work for a union, Let's Go Union, and we're here heavy. All the trades are here. We support this. This has to be.
Where do you work? What trade do you work?
Electrical. IBW. Electrical unions. It's one of our founding things. Can be nothing like this. Everything has to be equal. Everything has to be fair, just. There's nothing. I mean, it's real easy. Just be good to each other. It's just be good to each other. That's it.
So simple, doesn't it?
I mean,
Seems so simple.
Be fair. And fair is a thing. No, life isn't fair. Deal with that. But it can't be unjust. It can't be just so sided against someone that you don't have a chance from the rip. It just can't be that way. And we're here to fix this.
Feel about the past 8 days so far?
I feel like it's good. I feel like, obviously, I feel like it's about time. Really, the only thing I'm feeling is anger.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to see that there's so many other people out here that are willing to do something. We don't know where it's going to end or if it's going to end, but the fight has to keep going.
No, we don't know. It's march today, march tomorrow.
March today, march tomorrow.
What do you think it's going to take to make real change?
I think it's going to take us doing this or something like this every day. I think that we just have to keep at it. It's just going to take persistence, that's all. And I believe it's going to change.
Well, we're out here, man.
We're out here.
I appreciate it, bro. Whatever you feel like you want to say about it.
Well, today is my first day out during the protest right now, but what we're out here for, and me personally, is to demand justice for people who have been killed by police and police brutality. This has not started today or this year. This has been around since slavery. I don't understand why we're still out here protesting this, but I feel like we're going to make a difference, and we're going to get justice for the people who have died from these senseless acts of killing. Also, this is not just a day of me protesting. I've always had a big voice about what's going on in the black community, and I feel like it's time. Enough is enough of what's going on, and things need to be, our voices need to be heard, and things need to be done to get justice for the people who have died.
Thank you. What do you think it's going to take to make real change?
I think that these police, they need to understand that we're not playing with them, that there's going unity between black people, white people, and every people of all races, and that we're here to seek justice, and that we're not stopping. This is not about to stop. It's not about to stop with the Instagram post. It's not about to stop with the hashtag. We're going to be out here still demanding justice, and we're going to try to, you know, get that what we need. So, yeah.
I'm glad we finally coming together and we start finally rising up, man, for what we believe in. We don't want no favorites, we don't want no favoritism, we don't want nothing special. We just want to be treated as equal, treated as a person like anybody else would, you know? And our people have been oppressed ever since we came here, ever since the 1600s. And I'm just glad we finally coming together as one, black and white, you know? You know, and that's really it. Appreciate it.
What do you think it's going to take to make some real changes with the marching in the country?
What I think it's going to, we're going to have to get rid of the white supremacy and the systematic oppression that we're going through, you know? We're going to have to get in there and actually change laws. We can't just, marching is nice, looting is, you know what I'm saying, it make a little difference, but we really got to get in there and actually change laws and change different things that hold us down.
To the people who have that
power. Different, from getting different loans. Like we can't get a small business loan, but we can get a loan for school. You know what I'm saying? Those are different things that we just got to change systematically and law by laws, you know, for us to actually have a chance. We already starting behind the 8 ball. From where they put us at, the liquor stores on every corner, and just different, and how they treat us, when we go to a different neighborhood, how the police treat us, everything. We just tired of all that, you know?
It feels like anger with momentum, you know. Like the fact that we're this many days in and we're still here, stronger and growing, gives me hope, and it gives me a place to put my anger, you know, my frustration and everyone's frustration. It feels like we have a direction, and it gives me hope.
Yeah, I think it's also important to like what you just said about how it's growing. It's growing because overall it's not withering down at all. It's 8 days, and this is the biggest we've probably seen.
Yep, 100%. I'm stoked to see people come out on Monday. It's gonna be huge.
One last thing, I'm trying to ask people, what do you personally think it's going to take for real change to happen?
Top to bottom systemic reform. We need, and that starts with completely redoing and rethinking how we deal with law enforcement, period. Like nothing will change until we disarm and defund the police, period. Like nothing will change until that happens. That's step one, you know? Yeah. I hope we can get there. I hope we can get there and get way further.
I think it's a beautiful thing how we're all coming together and making our voices be heard. It's very important that we speak up and speak out and hold these cops accountable for what they do. They should not get a slap on the wrist. They should be charged and convicted. Charged and convicted. Because being charged is not enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough that they're being charged. They need to be convicted. They need to be in the jail because they cannot get away. It's like if a cashier is held responsible for the register. They'll get fired if the register is short, right? So should the cops. The cops should get held responsible for other people's lives because that's their job, to protect their lives. The fact that they get a slap on their wrist makes them feel invincible, makes them feel like they can just do whatever to anyone, and that we cannot stand for that. We cannot let that happen. We have to convict them. We have to let them be accountable for their actions. They're not invincible. They're just like us. They just have a little bit more authority. They're supposed to protect us, and they're supposed to be held responsible for their actions. And that's what all the message that we're trying to get across is: hold these cops accountable for their actions.
This is what we've been waiting on for centuries, decades, man. It's time for change. It's time for all America to come together and all the world. Enough is enough. Black lives matter, white lives, Asian lives, everybody lives. It's time for a revolution, and that's what we're doing right now. Live in the streets, at your front door, coming from inside. We loving it, man. man. This is a beautiful thing right here. In Detroit, we're not burning down houses. We're not looting. We're not destroying businesses. We're doing it the right way.
What do you? I got one more question. I'm trying to ask some people. What do you think it's going to take to make real change happen? City, country, worldwide.
It's going to take everybody. It's going to take all races, all ages, all cultures, all cities. It's going to take God. It's going to take Christ, Muhammad, whoever you is. It's going to take everybody. The kingdom of paradise. I am hip hop. That's right, baby.
I don't care. We're gonna be out here until our demands are met. There's no reason that somebody that looks like me, that somebody that looks like a Hispanic, that somebody who looks like an Arabic, that somebody who looks like anybody should fear the people that we put in place to protect us. Understands that, it's a women or whoever the fuck need to understand that, we're gonna be out of here.
Now it's time to celebrate. As we are going to occupy this land, our street, our city, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna wait until this criminal, bitch-ass curfew starts coming around, and then we'll continue to march back to where we began.
Logan McLeod, and I'm out here recording all of this beauty, this powerful movement. It seems that a lot of people are finally coming to realize that Black Lives Matter. Better late than never, okay? I'm not judging you if you're just coming to this for the first time. If you're out here coming to a grand realization that you've had your head in the sand the entire time, it's okay. Bring it out the sand. You're woke now, all right? You're a part of the movement. And being a part of the movement means that you educate yourself. You talk to people. You have uncomfortable conversations. You talk to your parents if they disagree with you. You work through that. And you stick. Just look at these beautiful people out here celebrating, man. This is what it's all about, and it's just going to keep growing. This momentum's going to continue. People aren't going to forget about it once quarantine's lifted. That's what everybody's thinking, that once everybody's released back into the world, they're going to start ignoring again, just like they used to. Nobody's ignoring anymore. Never again.
Anything you guys have to say about the movement as a whole, everything that's going on?
Hey, like I said, I came all the way from Lansing, an hour-and-a-half drive, and in Lansing, not even last week, it was very violent and not peaceful, but here, like you can see, it's so peaceful and 100 times more peaceful. And it's great to be a part of this whole movement and everything, honestly. Like, I just, you know what I mean? I'm half black, half white, so the whole thing is very, very powerful.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, there's been a lot of eyes on like all the cities, but Detroit especially, because I feel people view Detroit, they've been viewing Detroit historically as a really dangerous place to be.
Well, yeah.
Do you have any words, like what you're just saying, you have any words about what you want to tell people that might not have as
like
much
I said,
experience?
you can see it firsthand. This is very peaceful as much as I violent protest or anything. This is the most peaceful protest that I have seen. I was just in Lansing last week. There was cars being flipped over, cops shooting tear gas at people.
Yeah.
I was right there. You know what I mean? And here, there's people dancing, people hugging, people literally cherishing the freedom and peace. Like that's literally what we're fighting for. You know what I mean? And it's just amazing. It's amazing to see everything.
Hell yeah, bro. There's one last thing. One last thing I've been trying to ask some people is, what do you think is going to take to make real change, the real change happen in Detroit, not just Detroit, the whole country, the whole world? What do you think that's
honestly
going to take?
just this powerful of a message? Everyone all together, all races, everyone in a group, all across the country getting together for one movement. You know what I mean? It's all about the people. You know, like the government is corrupt. It's been proven. They are pretty corrupt. So it's like, when the people come together, it's just a beautiful thing. It really is.
It is. Hell yeah, we're gonna keep coming together.
That's what I'm saying. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
Anything you want to speak on, you know?
So, I mean, for starters, I think it's just beautiful to see the city come together like this. Like, this is the voice of the people. This is, so far, the largest civil rights movement in the world, and seeing Detroit come together like this in I mean, relatively peaceful, you know, non-violent anyways, I think is the word we're using. But I'm kind of from all over the place. I moved around my entire life, and this is the first place that's really felt like home. And everyone's out here making a difference, getting their voices heard, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Amazing, yeah.
I definitely think that having the police chief behind us, and like, you know, as long as we stay peaceful, they're not gonna enforce the curfew, has been really beneficial. We marched, I think it was like something like 5 hours or so yesterday from the police station. We went around, I'm not terribly familiar. Yeah, like we didn't go through East Side yesterday. We went through like more of the West Side and looped around back to downtown in the police station. It's an amazing thing.
One thing I wanna I guess ask you is, there's a lot of eyes on the movement obviously as a whole.
Right.
But with Detroit in particular, I feel that people had their own opinions on Detroit from the get-go.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So is there anything, now that you've been here and experiencing that, to the rest of the world that's not here maybe, that you could give some perspective on of how Detroit's been how Detroit has been and what it's about, the movement?
Absolutely. The rest of the world, and like having lived in several other states, has a really bad image of Detroit. They think Detroit's violent, there's a lot of crime, there's all this stuff going on. All that's really just proximity, it's population. These protesters are out here showing that we can peacefully, non-violently protest to make change. The other cities that have been going crazy and burning stuff down, like, you know, I get their sentiment, but I also think that we can manage this without tearing things down, without hurting businesses. I was standing on the corner of Verner and Junction the other day after the bulk of the movement had gone by. There was a bunch of out-of-town kids that showed up in like riot gear and hammer and sickle masks, and they started lighting stuff on fire right near all the people of color owned mom and pop businesses, and that's not what we want, because that hurts the people that we're trying to help.
Yeah.
So I think Detroit's showing everyone how it's done, how it can be done.
Here, we can keep moving. There's one last thing I want to ask is, I've been trying to ask as many people as I could, is from your perspective, in your opinion, what do you think it's going to take to really make the change that we need to see?
I think it's gonna come down to what we're doing right now, day after day after day, wearing their asses out. These cops are out here, you know, we've got the numbers. We've got even more people here than we had yesterday.
Yeah.
They only have so many policemen. They're gonna get worn out. Right now they've called everyone out. They got them working full day shifts. They're gonna get tired. So either our demands get met and change happens, or we keep walking, we keep dancing, we keep screaming and having our voices heard.
March today, march tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Thank you, bro.
Not a problem.
Appreciate you. But I want to start out because I see you guys came out here with the drums and everything.
Yeah.
You got the whole fucking squad out here. So well, I just want to know how'd you think of that idea? Why'd you come out here with that mission?
Man.
Like, what drove you to do that?
Listen, I'm not one to yell. You know, I don't got a voice.
Yeah.
You know, I can't yell a lot. I'm a professional musician. I do session work, I do touring, I do gigging stuff in Metro Detroit, and so this is what I know how to do. This is what I feel most comfortable doing. So I might as well put on a marching snare and come out here and do it. You feel me?
Yeah, well, we hear you guys and all the marches and
everybody
everything.
do.
So it's part of it now.
Yeah.
So that's sweet, man, and I appreciate it. But one thing I want to ask you is just how has the past few days been for you guys, and how things you've been feeling? Anything that's been on your mind that you want to speak about?
I mean, from the so I came down here on Friday, which was the first day of protest. So not yesterday, but a week ago, and like it was insane, man. And that's when I knew like this is gonna be my job until it's over. Until it's over, shit, it's not gonna be over until we get what fucking deserve. But sorry, I'm just I fucking mostly quit my job to come do this. Like this is just all I'm gonna do. I teach kids, and so the thing is like I don't want to get these kids sick. I've been around thousands of people every day, so this is what I'm gonna do now, and I'm not getting tired of this. It ain't too heavy, so all these guys, we're just gonna keep coming. What's up, dude?
Oh yeah, it's all love, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bro.
Fucking one thing I've been asking most people that we talk to is, in your opinion, what do you think is going to really take to make the change happen that we need to see?
This has to be sustained. There has to be like continued support from the people that it doesn't directly affect. And the thing about this one is that it's picked up, and we just can't let that spark die. You know, every time this shit happens, we see like people on Twitter feminists like coming out for a little bit and then going back. This time, like we need their support, man. We need all those people who are all the Tumblr and Twitter feminists and all the fucking suburb people and the people who care. They always care, but this time they need to keep caring.
And they need to show up.
Yeah, and that's the difference I'm gonna make. You know, I've been out to things before, I've been to protests, and I always just kind of fall back into the comfort of being a musician and hanging out, but I don't gotta worry about none of this, because I don't gotta worry about none of this. I'm a person of color, but I'm not black. And so I'm gonna keep coming out, and these guys are gonna keep coming out, and that's what it's gonna take.
We are all here because we are upset with injustice that we all mutually share, right? So we need solidarity. We need to, stand shoulder to shoulder, even if it's uncomfortable, right? Because it's greater than any of our individual shit. No justice, no peace. All right, I'm gonna let this brother perform.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? My name is Rico. I currently just moved back from Atlanta. I'm currently back home in Detroit, where my heart is at. And I want to say that at first, when I first came out here, I didn't have no understanding of what I was getting myself into or what kind of direction I was going in. But when I first seen it, I felt it was an opportunity for me, but then again, I looked past the opportunity of just about me and seeing the bigger picture, that it was something bigger than just me out there. And I had the opportunity to actually be a part of something, or to make a difference or a change in something. So I moved away from Detroit when I was 15. It was hard, the community was struggling. I grew up with 14 brothers and sisters, so it was kind of tough. So my dad and mom, they had to make a sacrifice, and they chose to send 3 of us to Atlanta. And that's where we stayed. We stayed with my grandma, and I graduated high school there. And I also went to college there. So I chose to take up political science because I was always curious about the world around me and why things were the way they were and why it was so hard for me growing up. Now recently, just 2 years ago, my apartment had flooded, and I was on my way to graduation, but I had to take a year off, so my graduation got postponed, so I wasn't able to go to finish college, and I had to end up coming back home. So I always would question myself, what brought me back home when I was doing so good where I was at? I was on my way to graduating, I was working 2 jobs, I was paying my rent on time, I was trying to do everything I can as a black man to keep myself up. And to something I had no control of, which was a flood, it brought me back here. But then I understand that it was a bigger purpose of me being here, that it wasn't for me to do it for Atlanta, it was for me to do it for Detroit. Then just breaking generational curses and just being the first out of 14 children to actually graduate high school and actually to be one of the first to graduate college and says a lot. That's why it's very important that Black Lives Matter, because I feel like I am an example to show that no matter what you go through in life, no matter how hard to get, you can overcome it. I believe that's why I'm here now. It took me a minute to kind of get up here, but you know, I had to actually feel the spirit and actually get into it. So I wanted to actually have an opportunity to do something different. So I created this song for you guys. It's actually been going through the process. It has actually uploaded to Apple Music. So if you guys are into it and want to check it out on your own time, you guys can do that. But it's actually called No Justice, No Peace. It was called Fuck the City. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. But YouTube, they took my video down. They didn't say it was copyrighted. They said it violated the community and what it stood for. So I changed the name. So it's not necessary to promote violence, but it's actually show a message of how police brutality is affecting us in America all around. Woo!
Here we go, here we go.
My homie Virgo, he's calling his fucking. No pressure, guys. You got two drummers. You got two drummers.
Y'all see this motherfucking coordination?
I'm sorry, y'all. I don't want to be holding y'all up. I know y'all probably tired and want to go home. To the fold, next episode, encore, heard they wanting more, the way they killing us, got me losing hope, steady yelling, I can't breathe, why you kneeling on my throat, I know you just acting, without that badge, you a hoe, we already came with peace, now we clearing all the stoves, knowing when this shit